Ever wondered how to build a permaculture homestead? That's where we're going today, diving into the concept of permaculture and its significant role in homesteading. In essence, permaculture is a fusion of permanent and agricultural principles aiming for self-sufficiency. It's all about providing for your basic needs, like food, water, and shelter, by working in harmony with nature rather than against it. The principles of permaculture are diverse, including observing and interacting with your environment, catching and storing energy, obtaining a yield, and mimicking natural ecosystems. It's about understanding the importance of plant diversity and layering, and managing your land holistically. So, are you ready to explore how to turn your homestead into a self-sustaining ecosystem that requires less resources than traditional methods? We've got a 10-step guide to building a permaculture homestead that will take you through this journey. Stay tuned as we delve into the steps of building a permaculture homestead. What makes permaculture unique, and why should you consider it for your homestead? Permaculture, a blend of permanent and agriculture, is a set of principles designed to create self-sustaining and resilient ecosystems. At its heart, permaculture aims to mimic natural ecosystems, placing emphasis on diversity, resilience, and stable yields. The principles of permaculture are grounded in observation and interaction, drawing inspiration from nature's wisdom. It's about catching and storing energy, be it sunlight through photosynthesis or rainwater through water harvesting systems. Obtaining a yield is also a key principle, encouraging us to reap the benefits of our sustainable practices. Plant diversity and layering play crucial roles, creating a balanced ecosystem where each element supports and enhances others. Think of a forest, where various layers from the soil to the canopy create a rich, biodiverse habitat. That's what permaculture strives for. Now that we understand the principles, how do we implement them? How does one go about implementing permaculture principles in their garden, you might ask? Well, the beauty of permaculture gardening lies in its holistic approach to land management. It's about working in harmony with nature, rather than against it. The first step is to focus on soil preservation. Healthy soil is the backbone of any successful garden, and in permaculture, we prioritize its care. This involves practices like composting and mulching, which enrich the soil and promote beneficial microbial life. Next, we turn our attention to native perennial crops. These plants are naturally adapted to the local climate and conditions, making them more resilient and less resource-intensive. They're the workhorses of permaculture, providing food year after year with minimal intervention. And let's not forget about closed-loop systems, which aim to minimize waste by reusing and recycling resources within the garden. This could be as simple as using kitchen scraps for compost, or as complex as setting up a graywater system for irrigation. Permaculture gardening is a holistic approach to land management, but how does it differ from traditional gardening? So how does permaculture differ from traditional gardening? Let's dive into that. Traditional gardening often relies on annual crops, which require a lot of resources and continuous tending. Permaculture, on the other hand, leans heavily on perennial crops and closed-loop systems to create self-sustaining ecosystems right in your backyard. Imagine having a garden that almost tends to itself, with nature doing most of the heavy lifting. Permaculture achieves this by emphasizing plant diversity and layering, mimicking natural ecosystems. It's less resource-intensive, focusing on soil preservation and using natural fertilizers. Unlike traditional gardening, which may require external inputs like synthetic fertilizers, permaculture limits these inputs and emphasizes letting nature work for the homesteader. It's all about working in harmony with nature, which not only benefits your garden, but the environment as a whole. Permaculture is a unique approach to homesteading. Let's explore the land requirements for a permaculture homestead. What are the land requirements for a permaculture homestead? Homesteading, at its core, is about self-sufficiency. This could be in an urban setting, a suburban neighborhood, or out in the rural countryside. The principles of homesteading revolve around frugality, waste reduction, and a fierce sense of self-reliance. Now you may be wondering, how much land do I need for a homestead? Well, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. The amount of land required for your homestead depends greatly on your goals and the methods you plan to use. It could be a modest backyard in the city, a half-acre suburban plot, or a sprawling 100-acre farm. Your land requirement will depend on factors such as the type and number of animals you wish to raise, the size and diversity of your garden, and your overall self-sufficiency goals. Remember, it's not about having the most land, but using what you have efficiently and sustainably. With the land ready, how do we start building a permaculture homestead? How can you build your permaculture homestead in phases? The beauty of permaculture is that it allows for a phased development, You don't need to have everything up and running right off the bat. It's a gradual process, allowing you to learn and adapt as you go. You begin by observing your land, understanding its unique features, its strengths, and its limitations. This is the first phase. Then you start with small, manageable projects, like planting a few trees or setting up a small vegetable garden. This is the second phase. As you become more comfortable and experienced, you can expand your projects. Perhaps you'll add a chicken coop or a beehive. Maybe you'll start composting or implement a rainwater harvesting system. Each new phase builds upon the last, creating a robust, self-sustaining ecosystem over time. Remember, the goal is not to rush, but to develop your homestead thoughtfully and sustainably. A well-planned infrastructure is crucial to the success of a permaculture homestead. What do you need to consider when planning the infrastructure of your permaculture homestead? Well, it all starts with a thorough land assessment. You've got to analyze climate patterns, study topographic maps, and identify water sources. This groundwork helps you plan your roads, access points, and the optimal placement of structures. Next up is the soil. The soil is the lifeblood of your homestead, and its health is paramount. You'll need to test the soil, amend it as needed, and then you can start planting your trees and crops. Don't forget about livestock considerations. If you're planning on having animals on your homestead, you'll need to think about their needs and how to maintain them sustainably. Remember, the goal is to create a self-sustaining ecosystem. Every element, from the layout of your land to the health of your soil, plays a vital role in achieving that goal. Sustainable practices are at the heart of permaculture homesteading. What sustainable practices can you implement in your permaculture homestead? Let's dive in. Water management is crucial. It's about making the most of your rainfall and reducing reliance on artificial irrigation. Think of installing rain barrels, creating swales, or even constructing a pond. Next up, energy-efficient practices. Consider installing solar panels or a wind turbine. Even small changes like energy-efficient appliances or LED lights can make a big difference. Now let's talk about plants. The key here is to choose native species. They're adapted to local conditions, require less care, and support local wildlife. Additionally, companion planting can boost your yield and deter pests naturally. And don't forget about heating considerations. A well-placed greenhouse can provide a warm space for seedlings, and a strategically planted tree line can block cold winds. Lastly, waste management strategies. Composting is a great way to recycle organic waste into nutrient-rich soil. Remember, healthy soil is the foundation of any successful permaculture homestead. How do you build healthy soil for your permaculture homestead? This question is crucial for anyone embarking on a journey to self-reliance. Soil building is the bedrock upon which your homestead will flourish. Think of soil as a living entity, teeming with organisms that work tirelessly to break down organic matter into nutrients. These nutrients are then readily available for your plants to absorb, resulting in bountiful yields. So how do we create this vibrant living soil? It all begins with composting. Composting is a process that transforms kitchen scraps, yard waste, and other organic materials into nutrient-rich soil amendment. This black gold, as gardeners often call it, is a superb way to feed your soil. Cover crops are another excellent tool for soil building. These plants, often legumes or grasses, are grown not for harvest but to enrich the soil. They prevent erosion, improve soil structure, and even fix nitrogen, a vital nutrient for plant growth. Remember, a thriving permaculture homestead starts from the ground up. Integrating animals can greatly enhance the efficiency of a permaculture homestead. How can animals contribute to your permaculture homestead, you might ask? Well, let's dive right into it. Animals are an integral part of a permaculture system. They not only provide food and companionship, but they also play a significant role in the ecosystem of your homestead. Take bees, for instance. They are nature's most efficient pollinators, helping to increase the yield of your crops. A hive or two on your property can make a world of difference in your garden's productivity. Then we have chickens. They're like your own personal pest control squad, gobbling up bugs that might harm your plants. But that's not all. Chickens also provide valuable compost material. Their waste is rich in nutrients, making it a fantastic natural fertilizer for your soil. So, you see, integrating animals into your homestead is not just about having fresh eggs or honey. It's about creating a self-sustaining ecosystem where every element, including animals, plays a part in maintaining balance. Building a permaculture homestead is a rewarding journey. Start today and create a sustainable future. Building a permaculture homestead is a journey of learning and growing. From understanding the principles of permaculture, to implementing gardening techniques, differentiating it from traditional methods, and integrating animals, it's a holistic approach to self-sufficiency. Remember, this journey of building a permaculture homestead is a step-by-step process that thrives on patience and harmony with nature. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe for more related content, and share your favorite experience in the comments section. Until next time, happy homesteading.